Joining us next is the well-known business leader. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause to Mr. Kishu Gomas.
Thank you very much, Sharon. And sitting over there, I've been reflecting on what has already been downloaded, already being said. And I thought to myself, if this was launched in Sri Lanka 20 years ago, we would have had a much stronger economy. We've gathered here this evening at a time when the world is grappling with the biggest health issue ever. 14 million people have been infected. Over 500,000 people have lost their jobs and livelihoods. Over 600,000 have lost their lives. And trillions of dollars of wealth has been destroyed. So the global medical fraternity so far has failed to respond to that humongous health issue. Hope over the next several weeks' time, or else over the next 3-4 months' time, the medical fraternity will be able to come up with a vaccination for the world to be able to restart its economy. Talking about Sri Lanka, I always say that we are a very poor economy, and in Sri Lanka, people die out of starvation, from starvation, and about 40% of our population have no access to 3 decent meals a day. And that's the reality of our country. Where have we gone wrong as a nation? My good friend, Dr. Nalin, gave a very good perspective on what the corporate world needs at this critical juncture. But where we have failed as a nation is we have not been able to use the workforce effectively and productively. We have 8 million people in the workforce. Central Bank would say that it is only 7.5, but my number is 8 million, given that we have people who are over 60 whose energy levels are much higher than that of a 40-year-old. And we have such examples, living examples in this audience as well. So when we speak of the workforce, there are 2 issues that we've always been talking about. One, the attitude. Second, the productivity. Productivity relates to the economic value one can create. So obviously, from a HR standpoint, we have a suicidal HR strategy, but leaving that aside, today's topic being held, we need to ensure that we have a healthy, very energetic workforce in a country, if a country's economy is to grow. Look at some examples from within the region. See how Japan built the economy they built several decades ago. See what China was able to achieve over the past couple of decades, or specifically over the past decade. See what Singapore was able to achieve. See what Taiwan did. See what Hong Kong did. See what Thailand today is doing. They all have much stronger, more energetic, healthier workforce. And as compared to those countries, can we be happy with the health of our workforce? My response to that is no. Way back in late 90s, I told myself the day I would retire from active service is not when I reach 55 years or 60 years. It's the day that I cannot run 100 meters in less than 12 seconds. And I realized at the age of 45 that I could still run 100 meters in less than 12 seconds. I wasn't a sprinter, I was a hurdler. I was a national athlete, I was the national champion. So that is where it is coming from. So I thought that attitude is a great attitude to have And with the realization and conviction, I've been promoting the concept of fitness within the organizations. If organizations are to achieve and deliver business results. So with that kind of attitude, surely we can take the nation forward. We will be able to certainly achieve economic independence, economic development, economic renaissance for the 21.5 million people in Sri Lanka. I went through very quickly the pages of the book, but I guess the digital platform would be more interesting than what has been printed in that book. And having obviously taken a quick look at what is shown on the screen, I'm convinced that the digital platform contains the contents that are right for our country. So congratulations, Dr. Kaushalya, for coming up with this excellent idea. You're not just a doctor. There is a very strong marketeer, brand communication professional in you. And during Professor's presentation, she talked about the journey you're being on so far. And seeing what we have done today, I can imagine where you will take the country from where it is today with your capability, your capacity, your competence. And there is a large fraternity of doctors who have attended this nice engagement this evening. And from our side, as corporates, we will certainly give it the due publicity to make this part of our culture. And with that, I'm sure we'll be able to have the fittest workforce for the country to be able to achieve economic independence. Thank you once again for roping me in for this very important engagement. And I wish Explore Health the best of luck. And surely I will commit myself to promoting it within the corporate world of Sri Lanka, so that with that, all the businesses will be able to achieve its objectives. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Kishu Gomas. Following the hotel guidelines and the procedures, and here we are. We have a set of consultants, physicians, surgeons, prolific experts. The press has joined us here this evening. We have directors of channels, plus friends of the media and very, very renowned leaders who have joined us here for a very special evening for Sri Lanka's first health educator platform. But when you have a health educator platform, that creates a relationship with your client or the patient and the doctor. And this is where we have come out with the important essence of educating the public on how you have to know about your health. has taken great initiative in a step-by-step process of launching this. Ladies and gentlemen, she deserves a well-round of applause. She holds a MSc in diabetes with a distinction and a certified coach, CMA Singapore, founder and CEO of Explore Health and non-communicable disease coach for Women Empowered Global. The founder and ladies and gentlemen and your host this evening. Please give a round of applause to Dr. Kaushalya Pereira.
It is our firm conviction that the Explore Health would become a great source to cover the knowledge gaps in the space of health, since it is a dire need in the country, relating both to the communicable diseases and non-communicable diseases. Despite all the hard work and efforts made by the healthcare professionals, are we yielding the fruitful outcomes in the space of health? So from the patient's or client's perspective, whenever he gets sick, it is his right to know about his disease. When he or she comes to you, he would expect you to explain everything about the disease. As far as the obstacles are concerned, one is doctor-patient ratio. The other one is my busy life. So from the patient's aspect, if we ask them to come for seminars or health education, I don't think that everybody would show up. To overcome this battle, at doctor's convenience, at his capacity, he can easily give a brief explanation of the condition to the client or the patient. Examination, procedures, and treatment can be carried out at that moment. So it's your duty to record, as doctors, to record all the vital informations and feed the website. And then it is their duty, it is your duty as the public, go home and go through that particular doctor's photograph and to get to know everything about your disease. Starting from the disease, how you got it, and where the organ is situated in your body, and whether you would get it again, whether you would need to go for surgeries, and what is the surgical procedure. And for instance, if you are to go for CT contrast, so the whole procedure will be there, fed in the website. So you will be very well prepared when you are going to the hospital. Even when you are going for an angiogram, you would know about angiogram before you go for the procedure.
Sri Lanka's first health educated platform. I thank Kaushalya, the CEO and the brain heart Explore Health, for this very generous introduction. While we are quite happy to be cured of our illness, at times we would have wondered about what was going on in our body. We would have wondered why things are being done to us, and would have wanted to know, why have we been asked to do certain things or take certain medicines? Many times, we would do as we are asked by our doctors, without really knowing why, and of course, without our curiosity being fully satisfied. But we are human beings, and therefore, we need to know. And out of all the things we encounter, the body and the diseases remains the biggest mystery. Simply because we can't see it, we can't hold it, we do not really know what's going on. That knowledge about one's body or illnesses are important to understand what is happening in sickness. But more importantly, so that we know why we have been asked to do something and what is expected of it. This knowledge empowers us and allows us to play an active role in the management of our disease. Kaushalya took her passion in health education and her ability to communicate effectively to the next level. And I'm proud and honored to be part of your moment today. Congratulations, Kaushalya. That's one of the best presents I've ever had in my professional career. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Have a pleasant evening.
Ladies and gentlemen, the launch of Explore Health, Sri Lanka's first health educator platform. Ladies and gentlemen, you can browse it through www.explorehealth.lk. Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen. The platform is live now.
මේ වෙබ් එක ගැන පුංචි හඳුන්වාදීමක් කරන්න කැමතියි. මේකේ අන්තර්ගතය පිළිබඳව පොඩ්ඩක් මේක ඇතුළට එබිලා බලමු. දැන් මේ explorehealth.lk වෙබ් අඩවියට ගියාම වැදගත්ම දේ තමයි ඉස්සල්ලා අපි බොහෝ දෙනෙක් අතෙන් කතා බහ වෙච්ච දේ තමයි සිංහල සහ දමිළ මාධ්‍යයෙන් නිවැරදි තොරතුරු නැහැ කියන එක. ඉංග්‍රීසි මාධ්‍යයෙන් තියෙනවා, හැබැයි ඒ තොරතුරු තියෙන්නේ කොහේ හරි රටක කොහේ හරි කෙනෙක් කියපු දේවල්. ඒව අපිට කොයිතරම් අදාළයිද කියන එක ලොකු ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා. ඒ නිසා අපිට මේකේදී භාෂාව තෝරගන්න පුළුවන්. අපිට සිංහල වෙබ් අඩවියේ මුල් පිටුවට අපිට යන්න හැකියාවක් තියෙනවා. පල්ලෙහාට ගියාම ඔබට භාෂා තුනේ අපි හිතමු අපි සිංහල භාෂාවේ වෙබ් අඩවිය තෝරාගත්තා කියලා. ඉතින් එහෙම තෝරාගත්තට පස්සේ උඩින්ම බැලුවොත් එම අපිට පේනවා මේකේ කාරණා කීපයක් තියෙනවා. දේශන සහ උපදේශන. යම්කිසි විදියකින් අධ්‍යාපනය ලබන්න, යමක් ගැන අධ්‍යයනයක් ලබන්න කැමති කෙනෙකුට ඒ ඔස්සේ ගිහිල්ලා අපි එතන ක්ලික් කරොත් අපිට පේනවා. ලකි අපි ක්ලික් කරමු. දේශන සහ උපදේශන ASCII බැලුවාම වෛද්‍යවරුන් ඉන්නවා. වෛද්‍යවරයන්ගේ නම්, ඔවුන්ගේ තොරතුරු සටහන් වෙලා තිබෙනවා. ඔවුන්ගේ සුදුසුකම්, අධ්‍යාපන සුදුසුකම්, වෘත්තීමය සුදුසුකම් සටහන් වෙලා තිබෙනවා. ඒ වගේම ඔබට අයිකන්ස් දෙකක් පේනවා, lectures and consult. මේ lectures කියන එක අපි ක්ලික් කරොත් එහෙම අපි වෛද්‍යවරයෙක්ගේ අපි lectures කියන එක අපි ක්ලික් කරොත් ඊට අදාළ වීඩියෝ එකක් අපිට බලන්න පුළුවන් වෙනවා. මේ ડોક્ટર සුරංගගේ ඒකට අදාළ වීඩියෝස් තියෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ මොන විෂයක් යටතේද ඔහු කතා බහ කරන්නේ. මේ අපි හිතමු ડોક્ટર සුරංගගේ රෝගියෙක් මේ වෙබ්සයිට් එකට ඇවිල්ලා මේ වීඩියෝ එක බැලුවොත්, නැත්නම් ඒකේ තියෙන වීඩියෝ එකක් බැලුවොත් ඔහුට ඔහු පිළිබඳ තොරතුරු ලබා ගන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ වගේම රීඩ් කියලා අයිකන් එකක් තියෙනවා. තව පස්සේ අපි පෙන්නන්න. එතෙන්ට ගියොත් එහෙම මේ සම්බන්ධව ලියවිලා තියෙන ආටිකල්ස් ඕන දෙයක් ඔබට බලන්න හැකියාවක් තියෙනවා. ඒත් එක්කමයි කන්සල්ට් ගියොත් එහෙම ඒක ඇප් එක එනකල් තාම ඇක්ටිව් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. මොකද ඊට පස්සේ වෛද්‍යවරයාව හමු වෙන්න කන්සල්ට් කරන්නත් ඒ ඔස්සේ හැකියාවක් ලබා දීලා තියෙනවා. හොඳයි. අපි දැන් යමු නිකන් අපි ડોક્ટર කෞශල්‍යකේකට ගිහිල්ලා බලමු. පහුගිය කාලේ රූපවාහිනිය ඔස්සේ සමාජ මාධ්‍ය හරහා ගිහිල්ලා සෑහෙන විප්ලවයක් සමාජය තුළ කරන්න හැකියාවක් ලබාගත් කෙනෙක්. දැන් මේ වගේ ගියොත් එහෙම බලවත් විශාල වීඩියෝ සංඛ්‍යාවක් තියෙන අය රූපවාහිනී වැඩසටහන් වල කරපු දේවල්, ඒ වගේම විවිධ පටිගත කිරීම් ඔස්සේ කරපු දේවල්, knowledge first ඔස්සේ කරපු දේවල්, මේ වගේ සෑහෙන ප්‍රමාණයක් තියෙනවා. අපි රීඩ් ක්ලික් කරොත් අපිට පෙනේවි කොයි වගේ දේවල් ලියා තිබෙනවාද කියන එක පිළිබඳව, දියවැඩියාව පිළිබඳ ආදී වශයෙන්. ඒ වගේමයි මේක තවදුරටත් දියුණු කරලා ලංකාවේ වෛද්‍යවරුන් 2500කට පමණ මේ වෙබ් අඩවිය තුල ඉඩහසර සකස් කර දෙන්නට මේ කණ්ඩායම සූදානම් වෙලා ඉන්නවා. ඒ වගේම ඊට අමතරව ඔබට හැකියාවක් තියෙනවා රෝග පිළිබඳව අපිට දෙවෙනි අයිකන් එක බැලුවොත් අපිට පේනවා රෝග පිළිබඳව තොරතුරු දැනුම ලබා ගන්න ඕනම කෙනෙකුට හැකියාවක් තිබෙනවා.
Now, Kaushi asked me to speak on corporate health, and that's exactly what I thought I'll do. The Explore Health is a very good introduction, especially it should be taken to the corporates and shown how important it is, because the doctor-patient interaction right now, if you look at that platform, it is more quantitative. The doctor will tell you, take this tablet, this tablet, this tablet, and you have a list of tablets and you know the quantity of the tablets you take. You go to the pharmacy, take the tablets. Then the doctor will give you a set of tests to take, full blood count and this count, renal, and all of that. And you go and take those tests. And what you get as a result? Quantitative. It tells your blood pressure is this number. Your FBS is this number. So it's quantitative. But there are also situations where it's qualitative, where the representatives of the medical profession do spend time explaining to the patient, drawing diagrams, helping the patient to understand what this cause and what it really is and why the medicine is given and what are the active ingredients of that, what is given, the potency of that and how it reacts. To give you that qualitative interaction with the doctor. Because when a patient is ill, when the doctor speaks to the patient, it itself is a soothing, healing process. The confidence and the craft of wellness is based on the courtesy, politeness, and the in-depth interest the doctor takes in the patient. So this is a fantastic proposition. And I'm sure the doctors that have been listed on this, the professors, the surgeons listed on this list, will only be too delighted to get into that interface of the physician patient. And if you present this in easy to absorb manner, encapsulated in easy to digest form, the corporates would definitely open their arms and would like to register with you or whatever form of interactions you plan for the corporate so they can engage with you. And you make a healthy society and you create a healthy community. Thank you.
I've been reflecting on what has already been downloaded, already being said. And I thought to myself, if this was launched in Sri Lanka 20 years ago, we would have had a much stronger economy. We've gathered here this evening at a time when the world is grappling with, I'm convinced that the digital platform contains the contents that are right for our country. So congratulations, Dr. Kaushalya, for coming up with this excellent idea. You're not just a doctor. There is a very strong marketeer, brand communication professional in you. And during Professor's presentation, she talked about the journey you're being on so far. And seeing what we have done today, I can imagine where you will take the country from where it is today with your capability, your capacity, your competence. And there is a large fraternity of doctors who have attended this nice engagement this evening. And from our side, as corporates, we will certainly give it the due publicity to make this part of our culture. And with that, I'm sure we'll be able to have the fittest workforce for the country to be able to achieve economic independence.
One is the launch of the book, The Silent Killer, and the other is the much needed health education platform, Explore Health. Well, I'm speaking here today. 20 years ago, life for many would have been different. But let's move forward. Let me congratulate her once again for what she has done and invite all others to follow suit.
So in that sense, I think what Kaushal has started is really bridging the gap. So earlier I told my patients, don't go to the internet, don't Google it, but yes, now I have a place to tell that if you have an issue, that there are things in this food on different things produced by experienced and learned people, not only book knowledge, with a lot of experience, and then go for that.
Wonderful initiative, I think, in my personal opinion, and for inviting me here today. Diabetes and patient education. I think it's a very important aspect when you consider diabetes and other non-communicable diseases, that the patient education go hand in hand with the medications that we give. Like the previous speaker spoke before, just giving a pill for an ill won't do in our system. Then, of course, later in life, if you neglect yourself, definitely when the kidney problems come up and the heart problems come up, you will become a patient. So we have a stage where you have a customer with a minute health issue, which we can sort out very easily through a thing like Explore Health or a proper health education. And the main thing is what Kaushala has done very well, and I have experience with handling my patients at the Hemas Hospital in the diabetes clinic, inspiring them. It's a very good initiative, and hopefully we also can sort of learn new things and how to interact with our patients. In fact, I'm getting new ideas on how to use this very effectively for my patients. I do a series of lectures and then give them the link so that they could go through that and see. And a small advice to you, Kaushalya. When you do things, I think somebody else also mentioned, having lectured people all around the country during my tenure as the College of Endocrinologists, the president. I think with all that, it will be a very big asset for all of us, especially people who are managing non-communicable diseases. And you may start for the COVID also simple measures which can prevent deaths in our community now as things stand today. So without taking much of your time, let me again wish you all the very best with this innovative step that you have taken, and wish the Explore Health team all the very best for all your future endeavors. Thank you very much.
To say, we have to tell the people how to identify a stroke and to come as fast as possible. The next message is this. Sometimes, this was told to me by a person, anyway, this is a story I told everywhere. He has gone to the boutique in the morning at 7:30. It's a mini stroke, or we call it a transient ischemic attack. So they say, yeah, okay, vatayak, ammak, hiriyak, that type of thing. Got better. But the danger is this. That's the yellow light, the warning sign. Next time he'll get a big stroke. So we are pushing people, whether you had a transient thing or a lasting thing, to come back to the hospital and take treatment. So like this, we are going to put forward many things on this, and it will be a lot of help to the people, and how to educate the people, how to detect things, and come back to hospitals and take their treatment. So in a scenario, what I have explained to you, what we are telling is don't go to your doctor, GP, general practitioner, family physician, because that's a waste of time to rush to the hospital. So these messages will be there. And thank you so much, Dr. Kaushalya, initiating this. Thank you so much for listening. Have a nice day. Thank you.
How she's using those words quite well, and she's trying to change the world, and she's trying to change Sri Lanka, and I think it's an excellent initiative and something that the country direly needed. So I was asked to speak about health education. Why is it important from cardiac diseases, cardiovascular diseases as we call it? So how could health education help as far as cardiovascular disease is concerned? It's quite easy. If people know about a disease, the knowledge, and they're empowered about what's going on with their own body, it's easy for us to help them as well. So I believe that health education from cardiovascular disease point of view can be broken into three different categories. Basically, firstly, how to prevent these from happening in the first place. We call it risk factor modification. There are certain risk factors that patients could get these cardiac problems, heart attacks from. And if the patients know these risk factors and how to modify them, it'll be easy from our point of view as well as to how best to treat them. The second aspect is how do you educate them as far as treating the condition itself is concerned. What tablets that they need to take and how much they need to take. The third one is basically how to prevent this problem, this heart attack or some sort of a complication. How do we prevent it from occurring again, recurrences? So those three factors as far as cardiovascular diseases are concerned are vitally important as far as our management, and I think that word was used previously as well. It's not about treating patients or treating people, it's about managing, and the management part of it includes this education part. And by doing this, I think we can definitely try to at least reduce the number of patients who die from these cardiac diseases. I'm not going to talk too long, to be honest, because I think everybody has basically mentioned whatever I have to say as well, because all of these issues, all of these cardiac problems, diabetes, strokes, everything falls under the category of what we call non-communicable. That means that these are not infectious. So these require a team effort, and it requires not only cardiologists, it requires neurologists, endocrinologists, physicians, everybody to work as a team, and that's what I think Explore Health is, and it's a team effort. You could see all the specialists who are involved in taking time off their schedules to make videos for patients to come and listen, and I believe this is a great initiative, and I congratulate Kaushi again for a wonderful initiative.